Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
Hello, everyone. I am Michael.
I'm John.
And I'm Andrew, and you're listening to Toy Rewind Podcast. Just a little episode where the three of us like to get together and talk about toy lines from our childhoods. See if they ended up in our houses or even our house, because we were all in the same house, or your houses as you're listening. This week, we rewind back to 1987 to talk about a toy line released by Kenner called Sky Commandos, or is it Sky Commanders? Sorry, my notes are a little wrong there. Sky Commanders. So it's Kenner. We've got lots of stuff we've talked about at Kenner, most noticeably famous for Star Wars. So this will be an interesting one to see. Did you guys notice something about that video when it was playing?
No.
You did not. Okay. So this is something we've talked about, a little insight into our recording here. We have this video that plays. If you're listening, then if you watch it on YouTube, you see the video. If you're listening, it's our logo that pops up, does a little hole. You're listening to it, blah, 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 whatever. And Michael's always trying to figure out when he's going to start. If you watch at the bottom of it now, the program we use, StreamYard, shows you the progress of the video. It's a little blue bar at the bottom of it. I just noticed it. Like I'd never seen it before. I just noticed it, and I was like, "Oh, that's the progress of the video." And I was wondering if you guys noticed it, but I guess you didn't.
No, I never paid attention to it.
Let's play it again and see if we see it. No, kidding.
No. Well, just when we do the rewind drop, just look at it if you remember. But we have to do other things before we get to the rewind drop. So, John, do your thing.
All right. So check us out on our websites over at toyrewindpodcast.com. You can also look us up at crossthestreamsmedia.com. While you're on Cross the Streams Media, you can leave us a voicemail. Please do. So
leave us a voicemail.
Yeah. As you've heard the last couple episodes, that's where Larry goes on and leaves us his voicemail if he has the toys or not, as we do our new segment with Larry. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. Please make sure you type in podcast to make sure you're getting us. I know Andrew's looking into the other side of that to make it all Toy Rewind Pod, but
it might be a couple of years.
Yeah, it might take time to get it. We'll keep trying. We promise. We'll try to make it as easy as possible in the future. We do stream some of our toy box showcases to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, of course. And then, as always, if you're listening to us and want to have a little fun playing bingo, check out our podcastbingo.com/toy rewind that Andrew puts together and play along and see if you get a bingo.
What?
Oh.
I was going to ask if you did updates to it.
No. So I'm still working on it. Like, still trying to get some coding, some different graphics, and some things I'm working on in the background. Updates coming soon. Because I do it I have to do it for everybody all at the same time. Because when I push one, it pushes for everybody, all the ones that are live. So I got to make sure everything lines up before I can push anything. So I got a message from a local friend of mine here in Tyler. He has another friend who lives in Dallas, but his parents live here in Tyler. And he has quite a few old toys that he may be looking to get rid of.
Nice.
And so I was like, hey, I don't know about getting rid of them or what you're going to do with them, but if I could get my hands on them and take some pictures. I don't know. He didn't know what all he had. I know he has some turtle figures. Some classic Playmates turtle figures. So very interested in that, but I'm maybe posting some stuff, some classic toys that we can get our hands on, just to show some pictures, or whatnot. So follow those social medias, because you never know what's going to pop up. We trying to get all kinds of stuff. And I know, do we have a Dusty Attic coming up, Michael?
It'll probably be June or so before I get a chance to get back up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are having. When's the next one they're actually having?
They had it, didn't they?
Was it this past weekend?
It was just past weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember what it was, the second or third, or when it was. So
it's the second Sunday of the month.
So if you're in the Dallas area, make sure you check that out. We'll try to make sure we remind you before then. Also, if you're listening to us 4 years from now, I don't know. It's still going on. If it's 2026,
it may still be going.
I don't know. I mean, I hope it's still going. But
maybe by that time we can be there more often.
Yeah, check out, see what's going on. As I mentioned, we are doing a Sky Commanders this week. Another line by Kenner.
Yep.
I'm very interested in this one because we
seem to like these Kenner lines. I've noticed
Kenner has a lot of good lines.
Yeah,
like
they do.
They're not big. I mean, they had Star Wars, which was pretty big.
Yeah.
After they finally got to their figures and stopped giving people boxes, they became pretty big. But they have a lot of smaller lines. It's kind of cool. Gives us a lot more content to talk about.
Yeah, this one kind of tangles up my mind a little bit.
Well, don't give us any hints, John. Here we go, Michael. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's rewind and get into it.
The blue bar.
All right. Yeah, did have a blue line on there.
You guys saw that.
All right. So, like I said, this was a line of toys that had a gimmick, like all your 1980s toy lines had. Every line had some kind of gimmick to it back then. So it was produced by Kenner in 1987. It's coming off the heels of Mask. So we talked about Mask before, so it's kind of coming off the heels of that. So the gimmick of this line was pretty much zip lines. So you've got these toys that are on these little zip lines that you would have to hang up from one end of your room to the other for it to work. And most of them had 6 foot lines, I think is what it was. And so that's what I saw. There was all but one. There was one that had a 3 foot. I didn't understand that, but everything else was 6 foot lines. This pitted the Sky Commandos against the Raiders. And
like the Los Angeles Raiders or the Oakland Raiders? Which ones? Are the Las Vegas Raiders?
It's the Las Vegas Raiders. No, it's
which team? Because there's a hierarchy there.
No, I don't think it was any of those guys. So the story starts out as a new continent called the High Frontier emerges in the South Pacific. This is kind of like, if you ever watched Superman Returns, where Lex Luthor throws the kryptonite in the bay and the whole landmass starts growing. That's kind of what this is similar to. So
okay.
So this new landmass has a new element called Theta 7 and is a powerful source of energy. So harnessing this power, you could possibly take over the world, which is what the Raiders plan on doing. So the Sky Commanders are there to prevent that. So the problem is that this new continent is completely uninhabitable due to the consistent fluctuating environmental conditions, with it being pushed up from the planet's core, and then having violent tectonic activity. It's just a tongue twister there. Violent tectonic activity, which is initiated by the Theta 7 that's in it.
So this is Krypton.
Yeah, it's pretty much where they got Krypton, the storyline of Superman Returns from. Yeah.
So when they did Superman Returns, they were like, "Hey, you guys remember those Sky Commanders?" And somebody said, "No." Perfect. We'll use that.
Yeah, exactly. Without the ability to just fly in, these characters use backpacks and vehicles that shoot out laser wires that solidify into real wire once it's connected to something. So because there's so much volatility in the atmosphere due to all this, the hot lava and all this stuff that's coming up, and the tectonic plates and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of winds and stuff, so you can't just drive a plane or a helicopter in or anything like that. So they have these little backpacks that when I guess they had to climb up the mountain to start off with, and then they shoot the lines from one side to the other side, and it's a laser, so the wind doesn't affect the laser. Well, as soon as it connects to something, it solidifies to make a zip line, pretty much. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it keeps them from getting. I mean, I guess while they're still riding, I didn't watch the cartoon, but I guess if they were on that zip line, the wind didn't blow them around on the zip line. I don't know.
Let's see if I can do this. I got a laser.
Yeah.
You guys see any? No, it didn't work.
No.
Thought I'd try.
All right. So Sky Commanders. Sky Commanders did have a cartoon of 13 episodes produced by Hanna-Barbera. It was part of their Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera programming block in 1987. Like I said, it was similar to Mask. This line was vehicle-based toy line first, and then the figures were added in. So they came up with the idea of all these vehicles and these backpacks and stuff, and then they just kind of threw in the figures in afterwards.
Okay,
so
this is how I envision this. Lasers and ropes all over the place.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how this works.
So, so the line had like small backpack sets which came with a figure. Then they had larger vehicle sets that came with the figure. There was one play set that was a pretty large play set. And then there's lots of string everywhere, like Andrew just showed on that picture. They all had different ways that you could play with them. Some of them were motorized with a little wind up. I don't know why you couldn't have battery powered motorized ones, but they were all a little wind up. Some of them had little wind up things. Some of them used gravity to slide from one end to the other. There's one, we'll get to it in a minute, that had a little crank that once your guy goes, you can reel them back in. So the main problem you had with this is you had to ensure you had places to attach the ends of the string, which had the play sets actually all had little things that you could connect to, like your bed or your dresser or your door, closet door, bedroom door, whatever you want to connect it to. They had ways where you could connect it to things. So, but you just had to have spots to do it for it to work, and you had to have places that were higher than other areas for that gravity to work on some of that stuff. So,
all right.
So other than the 13 episode cartoon, the only other marketing Sky Commanders had was a lunchbox. So, you see these toy lines that had the cartoon series that were syndicated that had 52 episodes and all this kind of stuff. This one only had 13 episodes, and there wasn't anything else out there but a lunchbox. You would see stickers, coloring books, different kind of like clothes, shirts, and stuff with the logos on it, bed sheets, stuff like that. This one had none of that, but it just had a lunchbox, and that was it. So it really wasn't marketed very well. Each action figure came with a laser cable backpack, or actually, pretty much the backpack came with the action figure.
Right.
They all had a zip line, and then they all had hooks to hook to the string. Even the figures had little safety hooks that with a little bungee cord that was connected to the figure somehow or another, and he wore it on his arm, and you could actually pop it off his arm and connect it to the rope. So if he did fall out of the little backpack or the vehicle he was in, he would actually just kind of dangle there, like rock climbing. You have the safety.
Yeah, you can see.
Rope.
This is like you can see that here. This is a larger set, but
that's the track patrol.
Yeah, you can see this. It's just Yeah, kind of explained what Michael was just talking about.
Yeah.
They're very bright colored.
Yeah, a lot of yellow.
That's one thing that there's a lot of yellows, blues, purples. Yeah, that's the one thing about this line, and that's the first thing I noticed when we looked it up. I shot John and Andrew a picture of the sets, and they're all brightly colored toy line. So there's yellows and reds and oranges and blues and purples and greens, and they're all bright colors.
This is clamped on the side of a rock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. This is this is very interesting line here. Okay, continue, Michael.
Yeah. So, and then some of the bigger sets had like firing missiles and other special features. Had like little guns and stuff that were on there that your figure can sit and pretend that you're shooting and stuff like that, shooting at the bad guys. So you had a pretty good line of good guys, and in the good guys there was only two bad. I mean, there were only two bad guys out there. So you had the bad guys were General Plague, and then Raider Wrath, and that was all your figures on the bad guys. But
wait, what? There were two?
Yeah. General Plague and Raider Wrath.
Did they have minions?
I think Raider Wrath was the minion type guy. So you could probably get multiple of that figure, and then you have more of them. But the good guys. So you had General Mike Summit, who was the leader. You had Commander Rex Kling. You have Commander Cliff Baxter. You have Commander Pete Crane, which was also known as Kodiak Crane. You had Commander Jack Riley, and then Commander R.J. Scott. So
a bunch of commanders in there.
I mean,
they're all the general and all commanders. So
I mean, that's why it was only a 13-run episode of the cartoon when you've got 6 guys going against 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
should be pretty easy, huh?
Yeah, that's a 3-on-1. I feel like and one of those guys is a minion.
Yeah,
so
I think the cartoon had like a female bad person in there and maybe one other, but Toyline only had the 2. So
yeah, but this was the 80s. We still don't hit women in the 80s.
Yeah,
so I'm sure
right.
And and even the vehicles, there's not very many, or the backpacks. There's only a couple of the bad guy vehicles and backpacks on there. So you had the backpacks. You had the Ascender, which came with Commander Jack Riley. Then you had the Geyser Attack, which came with Commander R.J. Scott. There was a rollerball backpack. That came with General Summit. And then there was Search and Rescue, which was came with Rex Kling.
So
the
backpacks and the figures like that, since we're talking, you're going through all this, I'll kind of throw this in. But with the action figures and their backpacks alone, they were $11.99 back then.
In 87.
Yeah.
87.
So
$11 and what? 80, 90?
99.
99.
$11.99.
$29.95 today.
So,
and then you had to replace the string, probably after a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's one thing about this. The string could get all
no string
tangled
Nothing.
up.
Still not working.
So
I'm gonna keep trying.
So these backpacks, all it was a little. It was a backpack your figure connected to, and it would hang on the line and just slide down using a gravity to do that. So,
I mean, it's a good idea.
Yeah. Then you had two bad guys. You had Cable Raider, which came with Raider Wrath, and then you had Deception Raider, which was General Plague's backpack.
So again, we only have 2 bad guys, and they're very original in the naming of their backpacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Come on, Kenner. You do so good on so many lines. You have to give me some more bad guys.
Yeah. Okay, so now the vehicles is what gets pretty interesting. These are pretty cool. They're a lot bigger. Like I said, they travel on the lines a little bit differently. So you had the battle tank protector. This came with Commander Jack Riley in it. It had the motorized motor on it as well. So when you had it tracking down it's got a little, what do you call it? Roadway is what they call it. It's like a flat. It's not really a string. It's more of a flat thing that the motorized would kind of ride down.
It's a ribbon.
Yeah, it's like a ribbon. Yeah, it's a ribbon pretty much. But they call it the roadway. So it's not, it's basically, it's not a string. It's flat, so it's a ribbon. So it comes with six foot of this, the roadway ribbon. Then it had some cable to go with it. And then it had the motorized unit that the base part of it would stay connected to whatever you had connected to. If you had it on your dresser or your door or whatever, it would stay there, and then the other part, the motorized part, would actually come off and travel along that ribbon. Now it did have it had that wind up motor on it, so it could actually go up if you needed to go up instead of coming down with it. So
cool.
How thick was that ribbon?
It's only about maybe half an inch thick.
Yeah.
1987. You know where you can get some of that ribbon from?
Where?
It's probably computer ribbon or something.
Probably all your VHSs. You just take your VHSs.
VHS.
They're not gonna, what are they going to do for the next? I mean, we're on the verge of
about
DVDs.
the right size.
Yeah. That's probably, now that you think about it, yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
So that one, the Battle Track Protector, was $13.99.
Or you could be like this guy who got it for $10.90.
Marked down a couple of times.
Marked down a couple times. It's kind of cool looking.
$14.95, $12.97, $10.90.
I mean, and then oh wait, no. There's a whole other price tag. $580.
$580.
I didn't even see that second price tag on that. I wasn't paying attention.
But the motorized part it goes down that ribbon. It's got a little chair that hangs underneath it that your figure sits in. So now these figures were the same size as your mask figures, which were about 2 inches or so, 2.5 inches. I don't remember what the size of those mask figures are, but they're the same size as mask. And the only difference is they didn't have your knees couldn't bend, so it just bent. You just had at your hips, and then his arms and his head would swivel. So
wait, the mask figures didn't bend their knees, or these didn't bend their knees?
These guys didn't. Mask had, you can bend the knees on the mask.
I was just trying to make sure I knew which ones we're talking about, and I was trying to remember about the mask figures. I know Joey would have remembered. He should have been here with us tonight.
Yeah, that's the difference between these guys and the mask is these guys, their knees don't bend. So
okay.
All right, so
on the boxes it shows they do.
That's what I was just looking at this box, and I was like,
well, you look at the art.
His knees were bending, and I was wondering.
Yeah. So,
nope.
So the next one you have is the Bomb Blast vehicle. This comes with Commander Pete Crane. Again, this is another motorized piece. It comes with some bombs that drops out. And it's got the 6 foot of the roadway, the ribbon, and it's got the part where, and again, it hangs down, a little seat that hangs down. He's got little flamethrowers on the side of his seat, so he's got his weapons there. And then behind the motorized part, there's another thing that's got some bombs that will just drop out of it. So. and you just push a button on it and it drops those bombs.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
That one was
The,
$10.99.
29,
$10.99.
10.99. So that's go like
And I'm going to throw these in there because these are all like every single
These
one
are
of them
for
has a different price.
which is interesting because they're all about the same size. It seems like they're
I would have thought they were all the same price.
a little bit of variations, but not huge variations.
Well, between the two we
Yeah.
just talked about that were motorized, we went from $13.99 to $10.99. So
Hey, by the way, the guy who bought this one for $5.80 is now trying to sell it for $75. Just want you guys to know that. I forgot to tell you guys that.
Okay, thanks.
So Bomb Blast.
Okay, so that's Bomb Blast. So so the next one is Cable Cannon. It does gravity. So you just it just rides down the line. He has it comes with the cable as well. This one has 2 missiles. So this being the gravity one, it doesn't have the road, the ribbon. It's just got a cable, so it makes it easier for it to slide down that cable. But he's got 2 missiles, one on the front and one on the back. So while you're sliding it, while it's going down the cable, you can shoot the front or the back missiles, and they actually go along the cable as well. So he can shoot forward and backwards as he's going down. He does have the little chair that hangs underneath there. He's got a couple guns on it as well. So this one comes with Commander Pete Crane as well. So there's a couple of these that have multiple figures that come out with these.
So this Commander Pete Crane, is this Firestorm's brother?
He looks like he's got a red suit, yellow. Yeah.
I mean, he looks like Firestorm's. Like he could be Firestorm's brother that, was also the brother of Iron Man over there.
And I did notice the difference in Pete Crane from this set and the Bomb Blast set is the one that's in Bomb Blast has a blue helmet, and the one in the Cable Cannon has a brownish or grayish helmet. It's 2 different colors.
Yep.
So
it's probably 2 different prices.
John, are they 2 different prices?
Well, no, this is actually one that I don't have a price on.
I don't have a price on this one.
But if you realize when we were talking about the backpacks and stuff earlier, that were just the ones that are gravity fed, they were $11.99. So I'm going to say this one's probably close to the same.
Okay.
I'd say $11.99. Since it's not
and
motorized.
those other 2
but then one of the motorized
were...
ones is $10.99. So in the same catalog.
So it makes no sense.
Well, it's not like it's any electronics or anything. It's just a little wind up motor.
Right.
You know, like you wind up the little things that kind of just the little feet move, and yeah, it makes nothing fancy on that. So, all right. So the next one is called Flex Wing. This one comes with Commander R.J. Scott. This one is. Let me get my picture up here. It's a vehicle. It's got a detachable pod on the front of it. It's got a 6-foot cable with the strap on it. So this one does gravity feed as well. And it has the outpost of it that clamps onto whatever you're sliding down from, and then you press a button and it just lets the pod loose, and it just slides down that line, so down the zip line. So this one actually, when you clip it on the outpost part, it looks kind of it's pretty good size on the back. And it has extra arms that they kind of look like wings, kind of, but they're not wings. But they have missiles on those as well. The pod has guns on it, but it's a pretty good piece, pretty cool piece. So the next one is the Jackal Raider, which was a bad guys, which is the Raiders, one of the Raiders' vehicles. This one comes with General Plague. It's got a let's see. It's got a ram pod, is what it's called. So you have your outpost that's on the connected to whatever you're sliding down from, and then the pod comes loose and he goes sliding down the. Like I said, this one's gravity fed as well. So he goes sliding down the zip line, and it's like I said, it's a ram pod, so it rams into whatever is in front of it. So
that one was $20.99.
Okay. 20.99.
And I guess, as you can see, if you can't see if you're just listening to us, but the difference between the bad guys and the good guys, the good guys are yellow, the bad guys are pink.
I think it seems kind of purplish to me.
They're purple.
Don't tell me it's mauve, all right?
Purple and purple and teal. They got
purple
a teal.
and teal.
Greenish
This
color
is
the one Jackson shown, or Andrew. Sorry, the one Andrew's shown right now is purple. The one I have is more of a.
It might be pink. Okay, so this one, I completely get Skeletor vibes out of this with the colors.
Yeah, I mean he's the General Plague, and he kind of he looks
Plague.
like.
I mean, come on, better name.
He kind of reminds me of the alien guy off of Scooby Doo.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. the little robot alien.
Robot.
Guy, yeah.
Robot.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like him.
Charlie the robot.
Yeah.
Sorry for
the robot. That's in the
Charlie the robot.
That's in the
amusement park.
The amusement park, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the next one is another bad guy. It's the second bad guy vehicle. It's called the Locust Raider, and this one comes with Raider Wrath with him. So this one, it's got a little harpoon thing that shoots from the front of it. And I guess once you shoot it across, then your vehicle can slide down it because it's another vehicle thing. I'm trying to see what it all.
I'm still.
But it sets up. It's a pretty good size. It's a pretty good size set on this one. And again, the colors on these are purple and teal.
I'm getting purple. I'm not getting pink.
Yeah, I didn't see anything pink, so it must be John's computer that's showing them those colors.
Well,
did Jackson tell you these colors, John? Because that's purple and teal.
See, that one's purple. Yeah.
It's blurry, but it's purple.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Let's see what it pulls up on what I show him.
Hey, Michael, tell him it's purple.
It's purple.
Purple is pink. Well, I
think
my other screen shows a little bit more pink in it.
I think that's just the image, the bad shot and faded.
Yeah,
I can see where you're looking at pink there, though. I do see that.
Don't make
all right, so
I would make fun of him. I just know he's colorblind.
So next thing we got is the Outrider. This one comes with Commander Kling. It's got a detachable clamp that clamps onto the whatever you're sliding down from, and it's got a seat. This one has a cable on it, so it's also a gravity-fed vehicle. What it does is it's got, when you're hanging there, it has the seat. Like I said, it had a detachable seat. It actually hangs from the bottom of the vehicle, so your guy can go further down while you're sliding down your rope. So
looking at this, can they get inside the vehicle too?
Yeah, that'll open up where your guy can ride inside of it as well.
So you can have one riding inside and one at the bottom. Because I was just wondering, I was like, why would you just throw them down at the bottom? Why can't they be inside it and actually be safe, or a little safer, I guess?
Yeah.
Than hanging out.
Are you sure, Michael? I'm not seeing any of them being open.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it.
It just looks like it by the picture I'm looking at.
But I haven't seen any of them open.
And this one sold for $14.99.
So, how much is that, Andrew?
$14.99. $37. I mean, it would make sense if they didn't open. They screwed up.
Right.
I mean, they also screwed up by only having 2 bad guys. But
Yeah, I can see little hinges on it. It looks like it would open up and your finger could fit inside it as well.
Okay.
And then it has that seat on the bottom that drops down too. So
maybe the seat on the bottom goes inside of it also. No, it doesn't work. Never mind.
You think it would push up? I don't know. That would be ideally. I mean,
that would
be too
much. Yeah, that would be too much. They thought too much into that to get that to work. You know what? Based off of this,
let's see.
So we had Mask. They really should have just named this group Helmet.
Okay, Andrew. Here's the answer to your question. The guy actually just fits up underneath the vehicle, tucks up in there.
So it just so it does just kind of come down. It just tucks up to it. So it doesn't open. It just tucks up.
So the top doesn't open. The guy just kind of tucks up in there, and that's where the chair, the seat that he's sitting in, drops down from the cockpit.
So they kind of did it right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good job, Kenner.
All right. So, okay. So the next one we're going to talk about is rapid deployment.
Rapid deployment.
And let me get to.
This is a bigger one.
I lost it. Oh, here it is over here. If I look in the right spot. Okay, so the rapid deployment. Yeah, this is a bigger one. This is a pretty good size piece. It's got when it's sitting there, it opens up. The sides open up. It looks like big wings. It's actually they flip out. It's it forms a barricade, and it's got armed guns on it. It's got shooting missiles. It's got a bunker pod that launches down the cable, and then it's got another. This is the one that has the cable that winds up, so you can wind it back up after you go down the line. You can reel it back in. So, yeah, this one's a pretty good size piece here. Your guy does fit in the top part, which is the pod that shoots down the line. But it's pretty cool because it folds up, it folds down, and it makes a big barrier, like a big wall. So it keeps your people from going, the bad guys from passing by the top of your mountain you're standing on. So let's see. So,
and this one, with it being one of the bigger ones, it sold for $22.99.
Or this one I'm looking for. Somebody bought it for $12.50, but $22.99.
Yeah,
57
today.
I mean, okay.
It's a good piece. It's a big piece.
It's a good size piece. Yeah.
Right, but I mean, for that amount, I would think you would expect a little bit more than just a barrier, a wall. You know,
yeah, but
that's all it does is
it
folds down into a wall, and then you've got the one thing that slides down.
Yeah,
it's definitely an interesting piece here.
All right, so the last one to talk about on these vehicles is called Track Patrol. This one comes. Oh, we didn't say that rapid deployment comes with Commander Pete Crane as well. So,
the Track Patrol.
Yeah, or Kodiak Crane is what he's also known as. The rapid deployment. Track Patrol comes with Commander Chief Baxter. So this one's another one that has the wind-up motor. It's got missiles on it. It's got an adjustable length roadway, the ribbon, and then the outpost also that hangs on to the wall, whatever you got it connected to. Then this piece comes out. It's another one of those where it's got the seat that hangs down from underneath the motorized part, and the figure sits in it. He's got little guns on the side. and the top part has guns that can shoot. It also has a missile on the back of it that shoots out as well. So,
where did you get his name at, Michael?
Cliff Baxter.
I thought you said Chief.
This is Commander Cliff Baxter.
Okay, I thought you said Chief earlier, and I was like, where'd you get his name? Because I see the box says Cliff, and I was like, was there a mistake somewhere?
And some of these, when they're up in the mountains, if you look at their names, same thing as naming. This guy's name is Cliff. You've got Mike Summit, which is the mountain summit. Then you have, I guess, Pete Crane. His nickname is Kodiak. And then the others, I don't really. The others are Jack Riley and R.J. Scott. So they may have. I think one of them in the cartoon has a nickname of Spider. I don't know which one it is. One of them has a Spider nickname.
This is a good day for me to wear my Rockies hat, Michael.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we're talking about mountains.
We're talking about mountains, exactly. So, okay, so that's all the vehicles there in a nutshell. So the play set, there was one play set on this, and it's called Vector Command, and it is a pretty good size play set. We were looking at this earlier. Let's see. It's a couple of feet tall. It's got different sections to it. It's got it comes with General Mike Summit is the character that comes in this.
Wow.
Yeah, you got it set up. Andrew's showing a picture of it. You got different ways you can set this up. So
I would say this one's just kind of stacked up, but you could tell with the clamp that you clamp it onto the table or whatever, it's going to go sideways.
Yeah, let me see what else I can find.
So
it's got 2 6-foot spools of adjustable length roadway, which is the ribbon part, and then it's got 6-foot adjustable length cable, which is the line. It's got cannons. It's got compression bomb. It's got a missile, sky cage, and then it's got a crow's nest that has a landing pad. Or it's got a crow's nest that your guy sits in and shoots from. It's got a landing pad for your pod to land on or whatever you got coming in. You can lower the catwalks and they turn into gunning stations. Then there's a gunning arm that moves up and down and turns around in 360 degrees. It's got a missile launcher on it. So out of all of them, this is probably the best set out of all this whole line so far. Is this piece here. Not only is it good size, it's got a lot of play value in it.
yeah.
So yeah, that's the pieces there. Andrew's got pictures of.
That's pretty good size.
Yeah, it's.
What did this one sell for, John?
This one was originally $44.99.
That's right. That's what you said earlier.
Yeah,
that's 112.
And it's about 2, maybe 2.5 feet tall. It's pretty good size for the size of it. So, and it's got a lot of things to it.
It still seems maybe a little high for me to pay for that back then, but at least it's a cool piece. I don't know if it's that cool.
I would think it's about a $75 piece. But what'd you say, 120 something?
112.
112?
Yeah. But I'm talking about back then. I don't know if I would have paid $44 for it back then.
Yeah.
Like maybe 35.
Well, that would have been closer to 75 then.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be. I'm just talking about like back then. I don't know if I would have paid $45 for this.
Yeah.
It's a little higher. I mean, it's still a cool piece, but and it's definitely the best piece out of it, but
yeah.
All right. So I don't remember these.
I don't remember these at all.
Now, my biggest question with these is looking at them and the way the guys attach underneath each one of these.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your main deal that they're attached to, and you have one arm on one side of it coming down to attach the guys.
Oh, they weren't even.
That right there automatically is going to tilt the guy.
Yeah, I feel like they were never going straight. Like they're always like
Well, they got it. If you got your figure on there, it's gonna even out the weight distribution on the motorized parts. Where the motorized is on top, and you have your figure underneath. Now the rest of the others, the gravity fed ones, the string's right there on top, so the whole thing is pretty much hanging.
Right.
The
So
string
it won't
ones,
be
the
any
gravity
harder.
ones, I just don't think the ribbon works as well as they thought.
Yeah,
it would.
and being a ribbon, it's going to keep it flat, so it'll still tilt side to side a little bit, but if you get it tight enough, it should just ride down. Yeah. So that's
If
kind of, I
you
think
got
that's
it
why they
tight
have
enough.
the ribbon instead of a string, because the string it would flip around.
Oh no,
It
you couldn't
wouldn't.
do it with string. I understand that, but
Yeah.
I still look at it and I still think that it would tilt it because the guy's hanging off of one side. There's nothing coming off the other side to give it weight.
No, it'll be because you got the other weight on the top part. It offsets itself. Yeah, the weight distribution sets it, makes it.
Michael,
flat.
did you have any of these?
No, I did not.
How do you
should,
know that? Then?
We should try to find some.
Because I've watched videos of these guys riding down there.
Oh, okay, okay.
You should try to find some.
I'm with you, John. I don't remember these. Michael, do you remember these at all?
I don't.
You
No,
don't?
I don't. Like I said, it was 1 year. So yeah, it wasn't a popular. And I don't even remember the cartoon. Usually I remember the cartoon too, but I don't remember this cartoon at all.
And that's exactly why they used it in Superman Returns, because nobody remembered it, so they didn't care.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think killed this line?
Everything else that was going on at that time that had cartoons and merchandise and everything that was thrown in front of them.
What year did Kenner shut down? Didn't they? Or they were bought out, weren't they?
Yeah. Hasbro bought them.
Yeah.
That wasn't until 92. I know we talked about this over and over, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, we talk about it a lot. So Kenner Parker was acquired. Oh, wait.
There was one more piece in this line, too. If you want to. There was a mail-in piece.
Yes.
It was called Battle Track Dispatch. It came with Cliff Baxter. It was free when you bought 3 specialty marked Sky Commanders figures. So
you had to get the proof of purchase. Cut it off.
It was pretty much another backpack that you just get through the mail. You mail in. So.
All right. I mean, it's an interesting line.
Very.
I like the gimmick.
Yeah.
I like that it was different.
There was a second series planned, but it was scrapped now due to this line not doing so well. In especially the larger landscape of the toy world at that time, like I said, it's 1987. You had all these other lines growing. You had your Transformers, your G.I. Joes. He-Man was close to the end of it. It was right before your Turtles popped up. It was a year before that. And then you had Nintendo sticking their nose in things, trying to, killing off a lot of lines. So now the second series had even more action-packed pieces in it. There was, they had a Sky Grip adhesive system. I don't know exactly how it worked, but you can use it to rescue your figures from the abyss. So if you pretend one fell, you can use this system to get that figure from the ground. They also had a trig clamps. I don't know exactly what that would stop your vehicles from slamming into the wall after a fast run. If it picks up too much speed or whatever, and instead of crashing into the wall, it would automatically slow your vehicle down before it hit the wall. But I never saw anything on how that worked or anything. So
because they couldn't get it to work because it always just slammed into the wall.
But they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different sets with that, and then they had 2 monsters. They were going to bring in some of these guys. It looked like one was called Coiler Monster. He looked like a dragon.
Yeah.
And then there was a Crush Station Monster.
Oh, I saw one of those, and I thought it was just a joke.
He was. He looked like a rock lobster. So
yes, he does.
And then I got the B-52 song stuck in my head, Rock Lobster. So after I saw that, but But his name was Crush Station Monster. So, like I said, it looked like a monster, a lobster. So, but none of that was produced. They just had pictures in the catalog for those to come out.
I
They
swear.
never did.
I thought this was a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's your rock lobster. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just thought that was a joke. All right, let's jump into this. What do you guys think about these guys? Let's rank these.
I like these. They're pretty cool. I mean, I wish, like I said, they resemble. They're a year after Mask. Mask was from 85 to 86, and they brought this out in 87.
They didn't even change the font. It does not look like they changed the font.
The font, the logo looks similar to Mask. If you just kind of put them side by side from a distance, they look almost exactly the same, kind of. But then when you get them close, you can tell that they say it different. But the font, the way it's wrote, it looks just like, it looks almost exactly like the way they got Mask set up. So, so we're ranking these.
Yep.
I'm going to put mine at number. Out of what I got here, it's going to go number 3.
Oh, I was thinking 4. I totally thought it was going to go 4. Number 3, pushing those.
I think these would have been fun to play with. It's just the only bad thing was you just had to find places to hook up and have room for your guys to slide down on those zip lines. So,
John.
Oh man, I wish I would have known these because I'm like Michael. I think we would have had fun with those. And yeah, you're probably right on the dot, right at 7. So.
I know you guys so well. Number 7 for John. I was just looking at it. I was like, he's pushing Troll Dolls down.
Yeah.
I am right there with you. I'm putting them right at 7 too, because I think the only thing that gets me on Mad Balls to keep Mad Balls at 6 is I remember having the Mad Balls and playing with them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think that it might actually be higher, but I'm going 7 also. So, and with that, it's time to find out if Larry had some. What do you guys think?
I don't think so.
Do I need to do the little jingle?
No, it's all right. It's all right. You don't have to. It's funny, but you don't have to.
No.
You don't think you had? Okay, so we got 2 no's. All right, so let's see what Larry says.
Hey, it's Larry from the STS guys. You want to know if I had Star Commanders? Oh, this is another one I don't even remember. I love Kenner. Kenner made some good stuff in the mid 80s, late 80s, but no, man, I didn't have any Star Commanders. Sorry.
Sorry,
He
Larry.
was close. It was Sky, not Star. But
I'm going to go ahead and just give Larry this one because none of us had Star Commanders.
no.
I sent him that message, and I sent him because I kind of keep a few weeks ahead. Because if he's going to send them in, he sends them in a couple like messages to us all at once. And so I sent that and our next 2 episodes. And I don't know what happened, but he said Star Commander, and when I heard that, I just started laughing. But shout out to Larry for being a good sport, sending us in these messages. You can send us in messages also. We would play them if you had some of these and you really enjoyed them. Send us in a message, crossstreamsmedia.com. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it right here and see. Maybe somebody else had these, and it will help us think that they're cooler than we even think they are. Because I mean, the gimmick works for this. I think.
Yeah.
It's different.
I think it's a great idea. I'd really want to play with them to see if everything worked out the way you wanted it to. Because, like I said, my thought on the way the guy's hanging is going to twist it and.
I mean, I remember doing this with toys, trying to find string, which was not always hard at our house with yarn and stuff. But to have, but not to this extent that they're doing it, but, to set things up and have figures slide down or whatever, just trying to hold on with their hands,
Yeah, and being kids playing with this, you play with it once or twice, and then you take it down and put it back up. And by the time you take it down the second time, your string's all tangled up. So
yeah,
you're all, well, forget this, and I'm gonna go play with my Transformers. I don't have to do that.
Or if you tie it too hard onto your bed, like you can't get that knot out, so you just have to cut it.
Yeah.
So your string gets shorter every time. Yeah. So good gimmick.
Like I said, it's supposed to have the deals to keep you from having to tie it if you do it right.
Well, yeah.
But I'm sure they got broke. I'm
all
sure
the time.
Yeah, they had clamps for each side of the string. So you put your clamp on, you tie it up to the clamp. So
lots of things have clamps and have the ways that you're supposed to play with them. Did we ever do that? No. Anything else we want to add about the Sky Commanders or Star Commanders to be, just
that's the same thing. The stars are in the sky.
with the Raiders?
Yeah. No, I like I said, I like the line. Like I said when we did our mask episode, I'm a big mask fan. And I think these would have tied in pretty good with your mask figures too if you had them at the same time. So, but I was kind of a little disappointed that the knees didn't bend on. The articulation wasn't as much as it was on the.
I'm going to go with false advertisement because the pictures show that their knees bent.
The drawings,
but they were very much.
When you ride down,
that's how you ride in a car, right?
Yeah, when you got them zip lining and your legs stick straight out while they're.
How big did you say these were? The actual figures?
I don't remember. They're about 2 inches tall. They're not quite 3 inches. They're right at 3 inches.
Are you sure?
Are they 12 inches, John?
No, because in the catalog,
let's
see here. The Sky Command motorized bomb blast wind-up motor vehicle patrols length of battle track roadway includes 5-inch posable commander peak crane.
5 inch, okay.
Maybe catalog says 5-inch.
Your mask figures aren't 5 inches tall,
right?
But these are the same size as your mask figures, so I don't know.
Well, I'm just reading the catalogs.
Stop reading the catalogs, John.
Hey,
the professor.
Well, I was reading. I did read one that said that it was a good guy. It was one of the good, one of the Sky Commander vehicles, and it said it came with General Plague with it.
You think
the picture had the Star Commander on it? It wasn't General Plague, but it said it came with General Plague.
The Jackal Raider comes. It says a 5-inch too. So
you think this?
Okay.
Maybe they are. I don't have one in hand to actually verify that. So, and I didn't see anything else, but they look exactly. And from what I've seen, the videos of people holding them, they don't look 5 inches tall.
Right.
You think some of this might have been? I mean, if they are the same size as Mask, you don't release as many bad guys because then maybe you can have a crossover and they team up.
Yeah.
And
the size of these vehicles and sets, I don't think they're too small for a 5-inch figure, but I mean, I could be wrong. So,
all right, lots of things could be wrong. All right,
I tell you what, we'll see if we can get a hold of one, and we'll verify that before
we'll publicly check on it. We will verify it.
Yes.
We'll let you guys know. All right, so thanks for listening. So you can make sure you check out all of our social medias. The name, it just left my brain. Check out all our social medias. That's where you want to follow because the different things that we're doing, trying to drop content in multiple different places with things. I'm waiting for some more write-ups. I got turtle write-ups. You guys are doing some. We're going to start dropping those. We have more pictures, just different things that we're starting to get a hold of that we're going to start sharing out more. You can also check us out over on Cross the Streams Media with all of our partner podcasts like The Dorksman, the SDS Guys, Secondary Heroes, 3 Beers and a Mic, The Movie Gap, The Dan Aykroyd Podcast, The Burt Reynolds and Charles Brodson Podcast, Front Row Negative, The Art of the Board, Beering Ain't Easy, Hot Tub Beer, Which is More Gooder, Deep Dive into a Dive Bar. And
did you say which is more gooder? Which is more gooder?
Which is more gooder?
Which is
more gooder? Yeah. Which is more gooder?
Okay.
Just trying to list all those, man. I need some water. So you can check out all those on crossstreamsmedia.com. Yeah, stop. I saw you had a drink there, John.
Water.
You can go to crossstreamsmedia.com, leave us a voicemail. We are gearing up. Everybody, this is episode 83. We're gearing up towards getting closer to episode 100, where we want to talk about all the toy lines that we've talked about and the ones that you guys have enjoyed hearing us talk about. What are your favorite toy lines from your childhood? I don't care when your childhood was. From your childhood, what are your favorite toy lines? What, Michael?
Transformers.
No, it's turtles. They're right back here.
Hot Wheels.
So many turtles. Yeah, so be sure you're doing all that. We enjoy doing this, and we want to do it for you forever and talk about all the toy lines until we're out. We're gonna run out of Kenner lines eventually, I think. Well, you guys, anything we want to add?
I'm good.
John's good. Michael's good.
I think we've zip lined to the end here.
We've zipped out of things. This one has been zipped up
There you go.
and shipped off down the line. Well, then, thanks for listening to episode 83 on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind podcast. Play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.